whenever you get together with people that have the same accent as you, it gets stronger, doesn't it?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Right then, Bev. Oh, wrong one. Tell me your story.
A story I can remember during the war was of Jack Fielding arriving in a pony and trap, with a pony and trap, which the horse used to be tied up just outside the fitting shop, and a Mr. Diamond, I think was the name from memory, who was a slinger, I also remember. He used to look after this horse, obviously being a horsey man, with a bale of hay available, and he used to look after this horse until Jack went home. And that's the story.
And what year would that have been in?
Well, that was probably 43, 44. And at that time we had ladies, working on the fitting bench. I had one by the side of me when we were working on a machine called a stone plant for making the famous flagstones for the pavement.
So the man who was looking after the pony and trap, was that his job all day?
No,
No.
that wasn't his job.
He just had to keep
them. He was the man that put the rope around the big heavy stuff,
Okay.
did this, pulled it tight onto the hook, and that's called a slinger.
But he also had to make sure that the boss's pony and trap was well looked after.
That's right. Oh yes, that's right. And here we are. Yes, I was thinking about all these things that we used to make at Fielding, or they used to make. Yes. We've all been talking about it out there.
What do you think something that was made that no one would have thought it came from Fieldings, or something that's amazing that perhaps people don't realise originated from Fieldings?
Well, like the one I mentioned, which was the hydraulics in the lift in the Tower of Blackpool, that was rather special. And I say this pump for pumping baby sham, which was all the go many years ago now.
Did you get a few bottles of baby sham for helping out?
I wasn't actually involved, I don't think, from memory, not in any great extent, with that little project. I did do quite a bit of work on a machine which was called a biaxial creep machine, quite small. I tended to do some of the smaller stuff. And that machine was for the tubes into which you put the uranium rods in nuclear power stations, and it was known as, my memory's not good, and this little machine used to pressure test it, stretch it, and pressurise it, all in one little machine. That's right. Magnox. It was done for the Magnox system for Barclay Power Station and others.
Yeah.
Biaxial creep machine.
Wow.
You know?
There we go. Thank you very much, Bev. I'm sure you've got so many stories of things that have been made.
Coming back. You know these cylinders that they wear on the back of the divers?
Yeah.
We made a machine to produce those. What was that called? Goodness knows. It'll come back to me.
What was the biggest machine made?
Do you mean biggest physically or most powerful?
Oh, both.
Well, a friend here, can't think of his name.
Who's that with you? Joel?
Yes, he said about the press he was talking about for the Concorde, or was it for the Brabazon? I mentioned the Brabazon. It was the Brabazon, it was the big one. He said it was 9,000 ton. He'd know, he actually was a fitter on the job. For some unknown reason, I didn't do any drawing office work on it that I can recall, but I did have to go down to that press when it ceased to work, once I remember. That was a big machine, that was.
Did you have any very small machines, very fiddly machines?
Yes. I was involved in an example of a valve, because I was on valves and hydraulics. and we wanted something much smaller and finer. And I went over to Doughty's, I believe it was Moog, which were involved with Doughty's, and organised a valve that would go inside our valve to make it much finer, much smaller. And we succeeded in drilling a hole or boring a hole through their valve, a lot smaller than they were able to do. There was practically nothing machining-wise that we couldn't produce at Fielding's. It really was an amazing place. That's why we all stayed there, because our pay wasn't terribly exciting. But afterwards, if you worked at Fielding's, you had a job for life anywhere in our field.
What does it mean to you to see the plaque made? And the plaque that's been made? And
I was amazed. Very, very good. There's a couple of interesting stories on it. Yes, good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you going to go down to Gloucester Quays when it's up? And
I should show my other half that with pleasure. Yes.
do you think it's important to have something left behind at Gloucester Quays?
Yes. And of course, we also used to. I told you about the gun turrets on the famous Churchill tank. I think we only did a few of those, and they were too busy. There was the next factory, you see. And that's the factory that built most of the tube, the undergrounds in London. If you look on the steps, Gloucester Railway Carriage and Wagon Company. They also built the carriages for King Farouk in there, amongst others.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Bev.
When you want the next instalment,